Tomb King's launch day. Everything is live. The Tomb Kings are live, but so well, not really alive. They're dead. But so is Tretch Craventail, and we're not allowed to discuss, talk about, or show Tretch. We couldn't even actually play Tretch Craventail in any of the content that the Total War YouTubers were given. So let's actually just jump really quick here into Tretch Craventail. God, he's just screeching at me. We're going to take a look at where they start on the campaign map. We're going to take a look at his skills real quick, as well as some of his items, and then go into just kind of a general overall look at Clan Rictus. But before we do that, let's jump back here real quick. Look at the Mortal Empires. Actually, we have to go all the way back here to the campaigns, multiplayer campaign. Oops, and my finger pressing. I have fat fingers. That's okay. So Mortal Empires. So where does Tretch start in the Mortal Empires campaign? Clan Rictus, we see that he starts here in the north of Nagaron. So for those of you wondering where he starts in the in the Mortal Empires, boom, that's his starting location. But let's start this quick campaign here. This shouldn't be too long of a video. We're not actually going to do any turns, but we're going to take a look at him. Suitable climate is frozen, so he's going to be able to inhabit a lot of the places that the other Skavens cannot, of course. A pleasant climate, jungle. We've seen this already from some of the stuff that was released early. Public Order 4+, whenever a diplomatic treaty is broken. Very Skaven-y. Melee attack plus 13. That's actually increase, I think, from the... it was decreased by 1, I think. It was 14 at the original kind of leaked footage during ambushes, and plus 13 after retreating when attacked. Also, it's got the attribute Vanguard deployment for the entire army. Cool thing, too, as well, as we've talked about, he does start with Storm Vermin. His rules in the tabletop actually give him bonuses if he's flanking a unit in a unit of Storm Vermin. So it's cool that he also gets some Death Runners, as well as a Doom Wheel. So let's start this campaign and take a look at what we get. We'll skip through this. I want to save it for you guys that are going to start a campaign with him, but let's just take a look at his skills and the such. As this slowly loads in. Tretch Craventail, Grand Chieftain of the Deep Warrens, has been sent far from Clan Rictus' traditional territory in the Darklands. Well, at least they give a nod to that. The leader of the clan, Lord Doomclaw, has ordered Tretch to establish a tailhold on the shores of Nagaroth, a land steeped in darkness and warpstone. We know for a fact, too. Let's listen to that.
Lucky, maybe. But I take credit, glory, yes.
Well, yes, you do.
Things to the east don't know I'm here. Kill, slay them, and find Warpstone. More horrible, brave elf things to the south. Rumors of huge Warpstone deposits here too. Take Steel, Nagaroth, and the Vortex for Clan Rictus. Then Council will have seat for Grand Chieftain of the Deep Warrens. Yes!
Okay. It's funny too, because we talked about how in the in our video where we talk about all of Nagaroth, we talk about a Haggrafe actually has a ton of Warpstone under it. Oh, there it is. So we know kind of already that we kind of speculated maybe the Skaven will start in some portion of Nagaroth, even though there's not many clans that start up here. So it's interesting to see Clan Rictus here, because that does give a really good lore leeway into why they would even be here. All the warpstone that is rampant through these here hills. It makes a lot of sense for why, and even why they even mention it, why Clan Rictus would want to be here. Ooh, so they start with 2 Storm Vermin. That's pretty nice. But let's take a look here. Chance of ambushing any enemy army this force attacks. I don't know if that's been with Queek. I've personally never played a Queek campaign, so maybe that's with him, but that's pretty rad. Conceals the army whilst moving, allowing it to ambush enemies along the way. Let's look at the actual Grand Chieftain attribute, of course. This is the Vanguard deployment. Let's see here, the skills. Okay, so We have the typical line here, the red line, the typical blue line, and your yellow line here. But he gets Tretch's Raiders. A master of exploiting others' weaknesses, Tretch and his band are never where you expect them and always where they can do most damage. So income from raiding plus 30%, passive ability Tretch Raiders, and charge bonus plus 10 for Storm Vermin units. Huge. So let's see what Tretch's Raiders does as far as the passive ability does. It's an augment in an area, so it's a small aura around him that gives plus 10% weapon damage, plus 9 melee attack, and plus 10% AP. So it's going to make a lot of the fighty troops, especially the Storm Vermin, even stronger in combat. That AP is going to be huge when dealing against a lot of Dark Elves. Let's take a look at the special lines here that he has as well. So Master of Guile. Tretch's sneaky, ultra-duplicitous tactics are dirty, even by Skaven low standards. True. Invasion chance when using the underway, plus 10%. Ambush success chance, plus 10%. And ambush defense chance, plus 10%. So, even more reason to use him in a ambushing style, I guess tactics, I guess you want to say. I'll stick with that. And then vanished. I turned around and they'd run, scurried off. Covering that distance in no time at all. It can't be natural. Yes, yes. Oh, that was in a Skaven voice. I'm sorry. Damn.
I turned around and they'd run scurried off. Covering that distance in no time at all. It can't be natural. Yes, yes.
There you go. I just kind of wung that. Hurts my throat already. But missile resistance plus 10% for clan rats and storm vermin units. Campaign movement plus 5%. Obviously, that's going to stack with your route marcher that gives you the 10% there, so 15% clan Rictus campaign movement range, and then a speed plus 5% for clan rats and storm vermin. So you're going to have a pretty fast, hard-hitting force with Tretch Craventail here. Then you got Stay Here, I'll Get Help, which is a rule directly from the tabletop. Awesome to see that here. It's not running away; it's knowing when and where to be. To secure the best advantage. Man, it's knowing when and where to be to secure the best advantage. I swear to God, I had the reading comprehension of a 3-year-old. But we'll just take a look at the level 2 here. So cooldown is a minus 50% to this, but the ability is it increases the number of uses. So you have to go here to look at it. Excuse me, did I not? Oh. There it is. Whoops. So, Tretch received Stock and Unstoppable and plus 16 leadership. Pretty damn cool. Ooh, I like that. He also has this ability, Scurry Away. Obviously, that's inherent in all of our Skaven. Hide and Force, Vanguard Deployment, Encourage, as you would expect. Charge Defense versus Large. Interesting choice. Some resilience to swamp attrition and missile resistance 15%. As we can see, though, his weapon strength is a bonus versus large as well. Let's take a look at the actual breakdown on that. 120 AP is pretty substantial for it not being on the tooltip there, but at 25 bonus versus large means he's going to be pretty devastating against any of the dragon-mounted Dark Elf Lords that he's going to be fighting up against, or any of the dinosaurs from the Lizardman far to the south. But its last thing here, coming back. We'll be back. We're coming back in here. That's sexy. Casualty replenishment rate is a plus 10%. Wound recovery time minus 1, huge. And passive ability regeneration. So nice to see that he does get a regeneration bonus at the cost of being 25% weakness to fire damage. So let's take a look at his ability, or his quest here, his Lucky Skull Helm. Again, directly from the tabletop here, so a nice nod, as it were, to the tabletop rules. This charmed helmet, fashioned from the skulls of fallen enemies, wards Tretch against magical attacks. So it gives a plus 10% to speed, a physical resistance of 10%, and an ambush success chance plus 15%. Man, isn't that plus the 10 on here? Yeah, so that's a 30% total bonus to, or 35 total bonus to ambush success chance. Is there anything down here that gives bonus? Plus this. So you can have a 65% increase to your ambush success chance if you build for like an ambushing lord in Tretch. And I might try that. That's something I've never done. I always just go route marcher, then heavy into the red. So that'd be interesting to choose. But I really like that. So his passive ability, though, is the Lucky Skull Helm, which the effects of it are anytime disabled if winning a melee combat. So So he has to be losing to get these bonuses. Plus 33% damage resistance and plus 24% speed. Interesting. And life is cheap. It should be no surprise that a race without a shred of honor or decency between them have even less regard for each other's lives. This obviously gives you a bonus to your casualty replenishment rate at 10%, upkeep minus 33% for Skaven slave units, and armor plus 5 for Skaven slaves. Bumping that up to a 10 on armor, a 50 on upkeep, and a 20 on your casualty replenishment. And of course, the typical sneaky and tricksy is warpstone as well. Everything else looks to be just about the same here. So, really excited to do a campaign here with Tretch. I actually will be doing a campaign with Turin. Turin will play the mighty Tretch Craventail, and it's nice to know where he starts. As I scroll out. Oh man, that's rough. Oof. And I'm going to be Katep. Katep starts... I can't remember now. Oh yeah, more north. There he is. Starts right about in here. If I can remember properly. My brain is just a piece of shit right now. I'm so like hopped up on Tomb King's hype that I don't even know what's going on anymore. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's right there. Because there's all these factions over here you can grab and snatch and all that crap. So Tretch and Katep will be right next to each other. You'll get all the Tomb King's action and all the Tretch Craventail action you could ever hope for in our head-to-head that will probably be starting here the next day or two. That'll be coming up here probably on Thursday or Friday, maybe even Saturday. So be on the lookout for that. But thanks for joining me here today, guys. I just wanted to briefly go through Tretch real quick, as we haven't done any actual in-game stuff, and I had the early access, so I feel like I owed it to you guys to show you at least some goodies about Clan Rictus. I know some of you can't even play until Friday or Saturday, so this will hopefully hold you guys over in anticipation of playing through your new Skaven Lord, or playing through any of the 4 Lords of the Tomb Kings. But thanks for joining us here today, guys. Have a good one, and take care.